Coming up on this episode of DL Weekly, the D23 Ultimate Fan Event is just a month away. The schedule has finally been announced. A Disney legend has passed away.
A Magic Key perk is coming to Tomorrowland. One of the canine security cast members heads off into retirement. We talk about the last almost 9 years of DL Weekly and more. DL Weekly starts now.
Well, hello there. Welcome to our unbirthday party. For your safety, please be sure to stay listening with your hands, arms, feet, and ears inside the podcast. And please, do give Tage and Teresa easier trivia questions. Well, it seems DL Weekly is about to begin. Have a most wonderful time. Perhaps tea time.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of DL Weekly for the week of July 15th, 2026. I'm Tage Bushman.
And I'm Teresa Urban. We would like to thank everyone who supports the show, but this week we would like to give a special shout out to Alexis B. for becoming a new supporter, and also to Chris L., Sarah R., and Annalisa H. for your continued support. If you would like to help support the show and get ad-free versions of each episode, access to our supporter-only chat, and a bunch of other fun perks, head on over to dlweekly.net/support and become an official weekly tier.
Now let's get to the news.
Extra, extra! Read all about it! DL Weekly reports from intrepid correspondents Tage and Teresa. You heard it here first, ladies and gents. Breaking news!
With just a month to go before the 2026 D23 Ultimate Fan Event, the schedule has been released. Some of the highlights include a debut screening of a new Leslie Iwerks documentary, a conversation with Joe Rohde, the Disney Experiences auction, Rare and Remarkable Finds, and so much more. To see a list of the events, times, and locations, visit the link in our show notes.
Okay, so I know this is probably not as exciting to you, Tage. Well, and I was just playing with it. I don't know if this is just my computer, but it lets me edit things so I can draw and okay, well, I think it's fancy. Anyways, I know this is not super duper exciting for you since you are not going to be attending the D23 Ultimate Fan Event, but this is crazy exciting for me because it will be there and I'm super duper excited. I am going to say this because I need to get this out. I was a little disappointed when this first was announced because all of the things that had been pre-announced are on top of each other. So I have to make some really difficult decisions. And then there's new ones that I didn't even know were going to happen that are also happening either on top of other things or during the big Honda Center events. The one that really kills me though, Sunday evening, because one of my top things I want to do is I want to see the whole new world of Alan Menken. So it's basically a concert with Alan Menken, which, come on, how incredible. But during that same time, the Disney Experiences auction, which has Rare and Remarkable Finds, will be happening at that same time. And to cherry on top of the terribleness Sunday of Teresa having to try and make difficult decisions, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks 55 Magical Years is also happening at the exact same time. So this year, out of all of the different expos that we've gone to, did not work in my favor with how the panels and schedules were put on. It's to the point that there's really, again, I'm trying not to be negative, but I looked at Saturday and there's really nothing on Saturday that's screaming at me. Which is crazy. That's Saturday. That's the big day. So, of course, here I am. I'm why couldn't the Bed Knobs and Broomsticks thing be on Saturday when I could go? But, that's how it goes. And I'm sure there's some sort of crazy, reading the tea leaves, looking into Madame Leota's glass ball, crystal ball, however you want to say it. I'm sure this is intentional, that they put these popular things on top of each other so that it makes people spread out, because there's just so many people and so many cool things. It's just impossible to do all the things. So
I think that's exactly what it is. It's to kind of split, move people around and go to different things. I also think it's interesting that, because we know that you can do this afternoon only ticket holder thing. I like that they put a little line on the calendar showing these are the things that those people have access to. So it's just a little bit easier for that. It does seem that a lot of the really fun, cool stuff is happening before that. But really, it seems like the afternoon only tickets are just so they don't just have an exodus of people to the Honda Center and then there's not that many people left. They're trying to backfill in that.
Yeah. But I tell you what, though, those afternoon ticket holders,
yeah,
tons and tons of great options. I mean, I just went over what was going on
and stuff. Yeah, that's all great.
And each on Friday night and Saturday night, they have the Disney Rewind concert happening both of those nights. So that's pretty cool it's a twofer. So you can even, you have less choices because you have two options to go see it. Same thing. If you're a Honda Center person, maybe the Disney Rewind concert is speaking to you more than, I don't know, the Disney Entertainment Showcases. You could opt out of not going to the Honda Center and staying at the convention center if you really wanted. But man, there's just a lot. Look, the Muppets musical history with Seth MacFarlane. There's a lot of things too that are very Walt focused and Walt centered. That some are
Great Moments with Walt Disney one seems like it'd be interesting.
Great Moments with Walt Disney. The house is Walt built with the Disney Family Museum. Walt Disney 125 Years of Inspiration. There's also the Carolwood Foundation presents Walt's Barn. So
lots of stuff.
Lots and lots and lots of stuff. I felt like there was maybe even one more, but tons of great things. Looks like they're going to be doing a live simulcast for the Legends Award ceremony, which
I think they did that last year too.
I think they did too. But the other interesting thing is the Legends Awards ceremony is actually earlier in the day, which we talked about previously. I think Ryan and I were talking about this, which we had noticed when Tage and I were there 2 years ago, that there was not very many people that stuck around for that Sunday evening presentation, which it was quite the big spectacle. It was a huge production. It was very, very cool. But in our section where we were sitting anyways, all of our neighbors, we had no neighbors. We just had a lot of empty seats. So I'm wondering if they're pushing it up earlier in the day to see if maybe that works better for people's schedules, because I'm sure a lot of people are traveling back home Sunday afternoon, evening. So selfishly, I'm just happy that it's not happening during the Alan Menken concert, because I think that is my top thing to see at the convention center.
Wow.
What a unique experience that really you could only have at the Ultimate Fan Event,
There is still some to be announced things too.
Look, maybe they'll have a second Bed Knobs and Brooms. Oh no, it's during the Legends Award ceremony. Never mind. I just gotta hope, since D23 has been releasing some of these panels for the Gold Theater, I just gotta hope that the ones that I miss out on happen to also be available later at the D23 Gold Theater, so I can experience it that way instead.
I forgot about the Gold Theater.
Yeah, lots of good stuff at the Gold Theater. Well, we lost a Disney legend this week. Don Iwerks, the son of fellow Disney legend Ub Iwerks and father of Leslie Iwerks, passed away on July 9th. He was 96. Although Don did lots of things during his career in the theme parks, he co-developed the Circle Vision 360 camera, helped create the America the Beautiful, built the projection system for Star Tours, and led key technical work at Epcot, which he considered a career-defining achievement.
Yeah, so obviously, this family in the Disney story is very important and has a lot of stuff, because obviously you had Ub Iwerks, right? And then Dawn, who just passed, and then we've got Leslie. There's all types of stuff going on here. So, yeah, the fact that one person could work on so many iconic things from the history of Walt Disney, the Circle Vision 360 stuff we talked about, of course, Epcot. There was a bunch of stuff working on movies like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Just what a diversified, creative, jack of all trades, seemingly individual.
Well, and if you've ever seen either photos or videos of them capturing all of these different films, it really puts it into perspective of how advanced and how just futuristic these things were, especially for the time. And I still don't understand, my little brain, obviously it works, but even so, seeing the Circle Vision 360, the camera apparatus, and seeing different footage of how they use, I still don't understand how that works. I mean, obviously it did, because there was multiple attractions that used that technology, but it's just wild, absolutely wild. So other things that he helped with: engineering 3D film and the in-theater effects for Captain EO.
The sodium vapor process was cool. So that's that way that they allowed the special cameras to do the painted backgrounds and stuff, to do live action and animation together, which was used in Mary Poppins. Didn't we see a thing that like they've like lost how to do that process or something, or like there was something about that where like they couldn't do it now or something. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It's just incredible, and really like the Disney history and Disney connections and the Disney contributions this one family has given to all of us over the years is just absolutely amazing. So definitely he was a Disney legend and a legend in his own rights, apart from, yes, all the things he gave to the Disney community, but just technology and invention in film and camera and special effect type things is just wild. And so, so it's a pretty sad loss, pretty big loss. Again, we just thank him for all of his contributions. Our hearts go out to his family who are, going through this difficult time together, but we all just have to cherish all the cool things that he did and had contributions on that we all get to experience for generations to come.
His legacy, for sure.
Yes, his legacy.
Well, it is that time again when Port Royal transforms from a seating area into a shop. Last time we talked about this, it turned from a shop into a seating area, and it's gone back and forth. But yes, you've heard that right. This has happened once again. During this version of the shop, it's selling Halloween merchandise and adult costumes. And related with Halloween, they did release the teaser for Oogie Boogie Bash of a new villain this year, and it looks like Yzma, perhaps.
It does.
Spoiler alert.
Too late. Yeah. Already, cat's been let out of the bag.
But I have feelings about this because I love Emperor's New Groove and I love Yzma, and so I'm like, ooh.
But do
you think Kronk will be there too?
The good thing, Tage, is whenever they introduce these new characters for Oogie Boogie Bash, they're not just here for 1 year.
Who do you think she's replacing?
So I was trying to think about that. So who's been around?
Madam Mim.
Madam Mim was already replaced.
Oh, yeah. That's right, because you were upset about that.
I was very upset because she should just be there forever. I'm trying to think, like the Evil Queen, Maleficent came and left, but they're also classic characters. I don't know.
Do you think that they might replace Sid? Because like with the new Toy Story movie, like he's not in it, so it'd be kind of something.
No. Sid, remember, Sid went away last year. Syndrome is back
over there. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't
see. There's too many things that changed. And I'm like, what was that?
Well, and I'm even trying to think of different areas that different characters have been in and what would maybe make sense. And I don't even know. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be.
They should put Yzma over by the Incredicoaster. Okay. Kronk, pull the lever.
Oh, got it. I'm like, she's chasing a llama during the
that
movie.
Would make sense to be in the Pixar area, though. So,
I am curious what her. Okay, I don't think it is, but I feel like maybe this is a hot take. I don't know, but Agatha. We've had Agatha. She's probably one of the longest running villains that we've had.
Well, she's kind of had her time.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder, it wouldn't make sense for Avengers Campus.
No.
But maybe they're going to not have somebody in Avengers Campus since it is kind of a weird construction area.
Using that weird area where Ernesto was the first year?
No, that was where... Did they use that last year? That's a good question.
Because you could put Yzma there.
Yeah. I don't... Now I can't remember if they had someone there or not. 2 years ago, they had a meet and greet there.
Yeah. Oh, well, anyway.
No. That was last year because last year, mini Christmas, we've gone too many times that I've forgotten
told you
which years we went and which years we haven't gone.
You're making me feel better, so thank you.
No, because that was just last year that we were there. There was not a villain there, but it was the Kingdom Hearts photo op.
That's right. Yeah, because yep. Because that's
for some reason I thought we didn't go last year, but that we did go last year because that's when the producers Vern and James and I went as the Hitchhiking Ghosts.
That is true.
Yes, that feels like it was longer ago than last year.
Port Royal thing.
I feel like poor Port Royal is having an identity crisis and just doesn't know what it wants to be when it grows up. So it's just wild. I think it makes. I do appreciate that during the hot summer, well, I guess I can't say that because it's already July and they've switched it back. I was going to say during the hot summer months, it's a nice indoor shaded, cool place to sit and enjoy your stuff. However, scratch that. It's mid-July. I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a better system what that is, I'm not sure, but it feels like a lot of work for cast members to be constantly flipping this space back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
So I wish they could find something permanent, but I also understand it's holiday specific merch that they're selling there. So
yeah, it just seems weird that they keep going back and forth and back and forth. And like you said, it just seems like a lot of extra labor that they're spending for what?
I will say they are very efficient because these changes are happening overnight.
That's true. So it's probably really easy, but it still takes time. Like somebody has to do it still.
Exactly. Yeah. Magic key holders who want to show off their magic key style can stop into Star Wars Launch Bay from July 16th through the July 26th from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and pick up a license plate frame. The frame has Disneyland at the top, resort icons and characters all around, and magic key on the bottom. A virtual queue will be in place for this giveaway starting at noon each day.
I wish I was there to get this because listeners don't know, but I just got a new car. And this would go great on my new car, but I am not a magic key holder any longer, and I'm not going to be in the park when this is happening. Although it is happening during my days of my birthday, which is kind of an extra kick in the pants.
But, and during Disneyland's birthday, too.
That's true. But I like the look of this.
Mm-hmm.
I like the colors. The 70th colors, which I think is what this is still kind of utilizing, I still think is a good color scheme for some things.
I love this. So, right, we said the Disneyland icons, meaning like the castle and the fun wheel. However, there's also Disneyland icons, a.k.a. a Dole Whip, a Mickey Premium bar. I see churros, all sorts of icons.
Yeah. Yeah, I see Chippendale.
Plus characters.
Which makes me happy.
Yeah, plus characters. Oh, there's an autograph book too? That's fun.
Well, we've talked about the canine security cast members a few times on the show. One of the 28 security dogs, Benny, who has been at the resort since 2019, is retiring. As a going away perk, Benny got to have his first ever hot dog.
Oh.
The security dogs at Disneyland have a very strict diet. Benny will join Kevin, his human officer, at their home, while Kevin gets a new canine trainee for working in the parks. Kevin looks forward to taking Benny to the beach for the very first time.
Oh, sweet Benny. I love that they had a retirement party for him and that cast members could come and wish him well. It looks like they had some dog cookies that were decorated just for Mr. Benny. It's got the Disneyland marquee sign, but it says retirement on it instead. Nice. We've got some Mickey balloons. There's a Disneyland security badge.
There's a celebrating button.
Yeah, I'm celebrating Benny's retirement button cookie. So stinking cute.
Do you think these cookies are dog edible cookies?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's cute.
And if not, it should be.
Look, Benny looks so happy in these pictures. Go check out the link in our show notes.
So
you can see some photos of Benny at his retirement celebration. I like the fact that his officer, Kevin, is going to keep him.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's another dog that they have at home. And, of course, the way canines work with officers, we've talked about this before, the new canine that Kevin will get will also live with him because it's kind of like a bonded pair.
Yeah.
So Benny will also get a new
friend.
Playmate, I guess, at home.
How sweet.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
I am Groot.
What do you mean you're hungry? Kraglin needs those pots for the rehydrator. We don't have time for snacks.
I am Groot.
Were you talking to Tage and Teresa again? How'd they even get a hold of you?
I am Groot.
Fine. One snack. That's it.
I am Groot.
No, I haven't seen any churros. You gotta talk to Vern. And stop smiling.
Well, this week for SnackChat, we are talking about the brand new and newly opened Carnaby restaurant. Of course, we're talking Gordon Ramsay at the Carnaby. This is the kind of more upscale restaurant that is on the second floor above where the new Earl of Sandwich is located.
I am so
torn
about this because I was very excited because I used to watch a lot of reality TV cooking shows that had Gordon Ramsay in them. Mm-hmm. I watched Hell's Kitchen. I watched Kitchen Nightmares. He had a show on in the UK that was actually really good. He wasn't yelling and screaming. It was called The F Word, food, obviously. And he would like mentor chefs and like do stuff and like he would talk about food. He lives in the UK. Like that's where his like family and stuff lives. And so like he would do cool things in the culinary world, cool things. Like he had like a goat at his house and he like brought it in and they cooked it. I mean, like culinarily, that's kind of interesting, right? Like that you have something that's like fresh farm to table kind of thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Or like, did he raise the goat?
Well, for eating. Yeah. So anyway,
poor goat.
But what made me sad was one of the things that Gordon Ramsay is known for, especially on things like Hell's Kitchen, is his beef Wellington. And I knew it was going to be expensive, but I thought, okay, it's probably going to be like $50 because like, you know, you go to certain places and like you get the fillets and those things are like $50. And so I was like, it'll probably be $50. It is $73.
It is. Yeah.
So I'm very sad. I don't know if I would pay $73.
So my initial, so they have the menus released, of course, since the restaurant is open. I will say one of the positives though, I love the look and vibe of this place.
Oh, yes.
I love the tiling that they've got on the floor in like the pub area. The colors are nice. They're very rich and vibrant. And yeah, I just think I really like the decor style. I think it's very, very fun and very neat. The menu, like I said, it is out and lots of cocktails, lots of wine. There's a bunch of boozeless beverages, draft beers, all sorts of good stuff like that. And then the main menu itself, I felt a little all over the place with this when I first saw the menu because you have things when you're just kind of sticker shock, I guess would be a good way of saying it. There's something on the mains that's called the Carnaby Wagyu Burger, which is made with smoked cheddar, thick cut bacon, baby gem lettuce, and a truffle aioli. And that's $25. I think that actually seems fairly reasonable. But then there's other things on here, like there's a salmon dish for $39, Gordon Ramsay's fish and chips for $33, and like Tage already mentioned, the beef Wellington at $73. So the pricing kind of feels a little all over the place to me. And then also sides. If you look at what the sides are, creamy mashed potatoes, a side of creamy mashed potatoes is $14. So it feels a little all over the place. With that said, people have eaten here. They have shared videos. The portions on some of these things look very, very generous. I'm thinking specifically the fish and chips. It's like looks like an entire fish.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Worth of fish and chips. So I do think this could be a fun thing to go to with a group and maybe order just a couple of the mains so everybody can try it because like Tage, I feel myself and others are just like wildly curious about trying Gordon Ramsay's beef Wellington, especially if you're Hell's Kitchen. That was that and scallops. He was always yelling about the beef Wellington and the scallops. The scallops are always raw.
Not scallops. The scallops?
I thought it was scallops. They're raw.
Yeah.
Or they're overcooked. Or I can't. Nobody could ever cook these two things right. So of course, correct. I'm super duper curious. In his restaurant, then it's cooked appropriately. What is that? So
yeah,
I do. It is popular. We were talking in the Discord. One of the folks that lives in Southern California went on to make reservations because you can book reservations ahead of time. What did she say that out until like October already?
Yeah, booked through the first week of September, and then she was able to make a reservation, and now they're booked to the end of September, and they made their reservation for early October. Mm-hmm. So just a reminder, we are mid-July.
Also, that was a 40-minute thing when she looked first that they were booked through the first week of September, and then 45 minutes later, they were booked through the last week of September. So
I'm curious while we're recording.
People are wanting to go check it out and try it
because you can book on Open Table. So I'm gonna search here really quick.
Okay, as a travel planner, can I just have one quick little rant?
Yeah, of course.
Why are the non-Disney restaurants not all using the same system? Because now we've got the Carnaby on Open Table. Whereas if you want to go to Din Tai Fung, you book your reservation through Yelp.
Well, today, there's a 6 p.m. reservation as we record this.
Look at that.
So you could get one like today for 2 people. There's a 9 p.m. tomorrow.
Oh, Tuesday, October 6th.
Wait, let me go back to today and see if that was this case. Yeah, Tuesday, October 6th is the next available.
Look at that. The featured photo, the beef Wellington.
Well, yeah. I really want to try this. Honestly, Gordon Ramsay is supposed to be such a great chef. I want to try a lot of his stuff. The other thing is the sticky toffee pudding that everybody who's tried it has been like, this is amazing. I think the sticky toffee pudding is $15.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at some of these drinks too. Like this Mayfair Velvet looks interesting.
So this experience is going to be kind of more of a one-off,
special
occasion type place. And we were kind of lamenting too, as excited as we are for this, we do also wish that there was a couple more family friendly, more budget forward, delicious options. I think right now, really, that the only thing kind of filling that is Earl of Sandwich. Maybe down the road when Portos opens and when the barbecue place over by Arthur and Sons.
Yep.
Maybe those will kind of fill that out a little bit more. But right now it feels like special occasion dining is the primary thing in downtown Disney.
Well, it's that time again for our friend Eric over at Concierge to catch us up on other Disney news.
Hello, everyone. This is Eric Johnson with Concierge, and welcome to the D180. While Tage and Teresa cover all things Disneyland, in the D180, we take a spin around the rest of the Disney universe, and we do it in 180 seconds. So let's jump right in. We begin our journey in Walt Disney World, where in just a few months, we will be prepped for the holiday season. Yeah, get ready. It's less than 6 months away. I know it seems early, but it's time to get ready, my friends. And it's even closer to the Epcot Festival of the Holidays, which starts November 27th and ends December 30th. Travel through the holiday traditions of multiple countries as storytellers tell, the stories of their nations. Each nation around the World Showcase has something to teach you about their holiday traditions. From Père Noël in France through Father Christmas in the UK, through lion dancers in China, you're sure to learn something interesting about these vibrant traditions. Oh, and there will be a spaceship Earth made out of gingerbread, complete with the now iconic lights that adorn this icon of the park. And don't forget about the nightly candlelight processional led by an amazing crew of celebrities. This year's troupe have not yet been announced, but we're sure to get some great folks, and I will definitely report on this once it comes out. There is, of course, a great assembly of kiosks with specialty bites and sips. There will be plenty of holiday foods and beverages arranged around the World Showcase. More on that to come as well once it's announced. Oh, and when it comes to holiday overlays, few can beat the glimmering greenhouses of Living with the Land. My goodness, these lights, snowmen, and ornaments turn a great attraction into something even better than it is the rest of the year. And I have to emphasize, I really do like this attraction. If you think a slow boat ride through a greenhouse is boring, you should probably give this a try. It will surprise you. I absolutely love this attraction. And hey, if you want to visit Walt Disney World, there are some discounts. Save 20% off on rooms at, seriously, most resorts. Contemporary, Animal Kingdom, Beach Club, Polynesian, Wilderness. Most nights from October 4th through December 24th, 2026 are open for discounts. Concierge has your back for these discounts. I hope you enjoyed our quick spin around the rest of the Disney universe. If you would like to learn more about these Disney adventures or just have a few questions, please come on over. Visit the social media and websites of both DL Weekly and Concierge. Then message your expert travel planners at Concierge because they look forward to planning something special for you and yours. I am Eric Johnson, and this has been your D180.
Thanks, Eric.
Your attention, please. DL Weekly Trivia is now leaving for a Grand Circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. All weekly tiers for...
Welcome to Trivia Land, where we have awesome listeners that have submitted some awesome questions, including one from Ryan P., who has been one of the co-hosts for the past few weeks. Finally get to ask this question that I've been sitting on for a little bit. Tage.
It would have been a fun. It would have been a
Dust
fun.
off the cobwebs.
It would have been a fun test though to see if he remembers what the answer to the trivia question would be.
He totally did. I asked him about it off the air.
Oh, okay.
I was like, "Hey, do you remember any of the questions you submitted?" And he was like, "Well, I know I asked this one and this one and this one." I'm like, "Okay, dude, I totally can't use these."
All right.
So, but Tage, welcome back to Trivia Land. Do you still have some knowledge stored up in that big old noggin of yours? You ready to go?
I guess we're gonna find out.
Big old noggin. I don't know if that was a nice thing or a
compliment
not
or
nice thing. Yeah.
It's an old timey thing. He understands what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're both Vern and I are both old.
Why? Because you're both old.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Well, let's see how you do. Your first listener submitted question from listener Jocelyn. What feature was at the entrance of Bear Country when you first used to walk into it? It was then integrated into Splash Mountain and has since gone away.
I don't remember his name, but there was a snoring bear. So it was a noise of a snoring bear. And he had a name.
I'll go into your bear den with you on that one.
All right. Snoring bear. Final answer.
Maybe it was like Rufus. That feels like a snoring bear name.
Yeah, but was it Rufus, one of the one of the country bears? Rufus, wake up! It's showtime.
See, maybe it was. See, there you go. Maybe it was.
That's
Rufus.
true.
Okay, so are you going to call it Rufus the snoring bear?
Sure, a snoring bear, possibly named Rufus.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go with Rufus the snoring bear. Final answer.
Final.
Your second question from listener Aaron P. In the queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. See how I did that segue there? Because we were in the...
Look at him getting fancy.
How many cut and unfried beignets are sitting on the table beside the roller pin in the kitchen scene?
Cut and unfried.
This, if he didn't attribute this to a listener, I would have thought that this was a Vern question, because this is like the type of thing that Vern pays attention to in the queue.
Oh, I was able to go through my own pictures and confirm this one.
I'm saying 5. For no reason.
6.
So we're split between 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
All right.
Not 6, 7.
6, 7.
Final answers.
Actually, is that where that started? Was in the Tiana's Bayou Adventure queue in October when we were trying to figure out what the heck 6, 7 that became.
No,
no. Like for us, like for our group, I think that's where it kind of became a weird joke.
Maybe. I mean, they have the 6 and the 7 as part of one inlaid thing for the seating. Anyway, that's but that last trip, Vern and I took it as upon ourselves to make it so uncool that people would stop using it.
It was our mission, and I think we did a dent in its coolness.
I think so. Anybody who was around us that trip, I think, does not do 6, 7 anymore. So,
at least if we did our job.
Yeah.
Your third question from listener Ryan G.H. What member of SEA is featured heavily on Disney Cruise Line ships? Tage, you just got back from one. You should know this.
I don't. I don't think the SEA stuff was on the older ships. I think it's only on like the Wish class, isn't it?
I don't know. Now I don't know. I'm stumped.
I need a lifeboat.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going with Stumped and Lifeboat.
Yeah.
Final answers.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I'm so curious about this question, though.
We'll have to wait till later to find out.
And your final listener submitted question from listener Ryan P.
You're just putting Ryan behind Ryan.
The Ryan.
You know, sometimes you just get some Ryans and you feel like Ryan up. That was terrible.
Okay.
Flying Ryanair.
I don't know. So finally able to ask this question. Disneyland has closed unexpectedly only 3 times, not including the 2020 pandemic. What were those closures?
So
JFK assassination.
9/11.
9/11.
Was there some sort of natural disaster? Like something that happened in California, natural disaster?
Well, there was the Northridge Quake, but I wonder if they stayed open for that. Did they... I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know if this should be my answer. But did they open when Princess Di died? Was that like another one of those weird ones? I don't know why we would care. Because
and they didn't close when Walt died.
No, they definitely didn't do that.
Like Roy? I don't think they closed when Roy passed either. I don't think they closed when Frank... I'm trying to think of Disney people. Frank Wells, I don't think they closed.
I think you might be right with...
I think there was some sort of California natural disaster.
I'm going to say the Northridge Quake.
Okay, Northridge.
I don't remember when that happened. Like what time of year, what time of day it happened.
Yeah. Final answer.
All right, so I didn't quite catch that. I got the JFK assassination and 9/11 and...
The Northridge earthquake.
The Northridge earthquake. All right. All righty.
Wait,
what?
Can you repeat the question?
Disneyland has closed unexpectedly.
Oh, unexpected. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Okay.
Because I was going to say they closed for the 50th.
Oh, sure.
But I wanted to make sure, because unexpectedly was key there.
Yep.
Because they expectedly closed for that day. And they used to close all the time on, Mondays? Yeah.
All right. Well, listeners, how do you think Tage and Teresa did? How did you do listening at home or at work or on your way to work or school or however you listen? If you keep listening after the discussion, we can all find out the answers together.
Well, this week for our discussion topic, we wanted to do a couple things. We're going to start first with a quick announcement. So this is something that Teresa and I have been talking about for a little bit, but ripping the Band-Aid off, if you're not a supporter, the Discord heard about this last week.
Yep.
And then Patreon, we posted today as we record this, so on Tuesday. But after this episode plus 3 more, I will be stepping away from the podcast as co-host because it's been almost 9 years. And
9 glorious years.
It has been glorious years. There's a lot of great things that happen in those 9 years, of course. The community is amazing, all the cool things, which we'll get to talking about. Anybody who's known me for any amount of time, and Teresa's known me for quite a long time, that I rarely stick with anything for as long as we have. The fact that we've done this for almost 9 years is abnormal for the amount of stuff that I do. Even with jobs and stuff, I've usually transitioned to different jobs. I get bored with things and I want to, do other things or whatever. I didn't get bored of this. That's not why I'm not wanting, stepping away from it is not because I'm bored of it. I just found that as I'm getting older, I'm not old, but as I'm getting older, I was finding in the last couple of years that I felt like I was stretching myself too thin. So for those of you who don't know, I work a full-time job teaching. During the summer, it's a little bit different because I don't teach during the summer. So I have summers pretty much open, but during the regular course of the school year, I'm teaching. Not only that, but I had maintained some of my IT clients because I did some IT consulting before I was a teacher. And so I was keeping some of them and was still doing some stuff with that. Of course, I was doing DL Weekly. I've been doing the Hub Crawl, the other podcast. So I've just been doing a lot of things. And I wanted to try to simplify things. I found that I didn't enjoy I also don't like schedules that much. I like to kind of take things as they come. And so the fact that for the last 9 years, every Tuesday for the most part, I've had to be here and record the podcast. Towards the end here, we've done things where we've scheduled interviews on things like Thursdays or sometimes Wednesdays, because that actually is a better way to do it because we're not trying to cram it in on the night we're recording. The regular, the news and the trivia. And then, then we have things like our Patreon supporter stuff where we had hangouts and meetups. We had all these different things that we would do, the book club and everything. And we, of course, I wanted to be there for all of those things. And I just found more and more lately that I wasn't like looking forward to it as much as I had been. And so I was like, well, that's not fair to our supporters and our listeners. I found the last couple times I went to Disneyland, I wasn't feeling it as much as I wasn't as enthusiastic about it. And I don't know if that's just because I've gone too much or I don't know. So I just wanted to take a break from it, which is kind of funny because we've told people in the Discord and we've told people on Patreon. And this is just a human thing that I think is kind of different for me, is people are like, oh, well, good luck with whatever you're doing next. I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything next. Like, that's the whole point, is like, I want to do less. So I just want to do teaching. I'm handing off my IT clients to another provider and just trying to simplify things just to be in. Teresa's been great through this whole thing. Teresa's known since like way back in February, we started talking about this, and we've been trying to figure out like the transition. For those of you who also don't know, I've also, throughout this whole podcast process, I've always been the tech person. And so Teresa having to take the reins of that, she's done an exceptional job. I didn't think she was going to be able to pick it up as quickly as she has. She even did some stuff where she's like, like she messaged me one night about something and then she had like figured it out already. So she's getting really good at that stuff. So
I think my like pat on the back moment was after Vern and I went to the parks was that May, and Vern and I recorded a couple of times at the parks, and then you realize later, you're like, wait a minute, I've never shown you how to use our little travel recorders.
How to upload it.
How did you good job. Like, I was like, oh yeah. And I figured that out pretty quickly. So I was like,
good job.
Yeah.
So she's picking up all of that. I told Teresa when we first had the conversation that I know how much the podcast means to her, and I didn't want to like take that away. And I didn't want her to stop doing the podcast. So I said, you should find another co-host and continue to do it because we have a great community. You still really love it a lot and have a lot of passion and stuff for it. So don't let me leaving push you to like not do it, because I think you should still do it.
Yeah.
And I think you've done a great job. Like, you've been doing like 99% of the work the last couple months. Mm-hmm. Even when I've been on the show, like Teresa's been doing more of writing the scripts and stuff, which is what used to be one of my responsibilities. And so like trying to get all that stuff. So she's been doing a real great job. I'll still be around in the community. As soon as like I'm done on the show, I'll probably step back a little bit just to kind of get that space and let new people come in and kind of have room to breathe. And then I'll still be around like in the Discord and stuff like that, because my love of Disney has not like gone away. I just want to take a little bit break, I guess. So yeah. And then I'll let you do the next announcement part, I guess.
Yeah. Before we get to all that, this feels like an end of an era, because we did start this together. So in total transparency, when Tage first told me, I thought, how does this continue? Because DL Weekly has always been Tage and Teresa. It's been TNT because we built this from the ground up. It's kind of interesting because over the years, things have shifted and changed, as they do naturally. When we first started this, Tage came to me and I was the one that had the crazy, crazy schedule. And Tage's like, you don't have to do, all you have to do is record. And like, so that's like when he first approached me with this crazy idea, that was like my contribution was I just had to be available to record and he would make all the other stuff happen. Well, over the course of time, things kind of shifted. I don't even know how long it's been since we started taking on more 50-50 of the responsibilities of all the behind the scenes kind of stuff. So Tage was definitely always the tech stuff. In the beginning, Tage was the one also doing all of the podcast editing. I was, I guess, more of like, you were like the tech. Maybe I was more of the creative. I don't know how you'd split, like,
you were doing, Teresa's always been the person that like has been kind of the push behind the community, because
like the people person?
Yeah, like doing the people part. So like the things that you did in my mind, my perception is early on, once I think what happened was when we went to D23 that first time, or maybe it was when you and Vern went for Pixar Fest. That's kind of when you kind of, I think, got more bought in and you wanted to like do more with it, because it did start off with that, but then like you really got excited about it.
Well, it became more, I think, because it became more tangible. So those, I don't ever keep this a secret, and it's probably like the weirdest thing. I did not listen to podcasts prior to starting a podcast. You
still don't listen to podcasts,
and I still don't listen to podcasts. Occasionally, I will listen to a couple of things, but like podcasts are just not my jam. My brain is going 50 miles an hour, so I have a hard time focusing on podcasts. Nothing against anybody else who does podcasts, because I think, obviously, I'm a big supporter of podcasts since we have one. But it's just not something that I ever really did. So I think in the beginning, I didn't understand. I didn't understand what the hype was about a podcast, because really, we're doing what we're doing currently. We are sitting in our own little space talking to each other, and there just happens to be a microphone in front that's recording, and you kind of have a disconnect that it then goes out into the world, and
you don't know if anybody's listening.
You don't know if anyone's listening. I remember, this is another thing that we've talked about many times, the first time we had it, because you're like, oh, we should start a Patreon. I'm like, who's gonna get, why would anybody support and pledge money to us monthly? I just couldn't, I was a total noob. I did not understand any of these things. But I think it became more tangible probably that first trip that Vern and I took post-podcast, because people that listened either reached out, stopped us in the park, whatever, and it became much more tangible, and I understood the power of a podcast.
People are listening.
yeah. Oh, people do listen. It became more real to me, because even in the beginning when people were supporting us on Patreon, I still vividly remember. I even remember the person's name that was our first $10 supporter. Tage had to stop me because I wanted to reach out to that person, because I thought, surely this was a mistake. Why would somebody give us $10 a month for putting this Disney nerd fun show together that's just two Disney fans chatting about their shared love for Disneyland? Why on earth would anyone want to give us $10 a month for doing that? So it's obviously changed. And for me, it's become part of my DNA. It really has.
Yeah. So the stuff that I thought you did.
Oh yeah, back to that.
Yeah,
sorry.
Was you did for a long time. You did social media.
Yep.
So you were the other than the podcast. That's where you were our voice outside the podcast for that. Teresa has been the one who has held the line with Vern's support for years now. That when we thank new supporters, we send them thank you cards that Teresa handwrites each one. Mm-hmm. I would have just printed one and signed it. And Teresa's like, no, we got to handwrite. Yeah. So it that's why I say the people aspect.
Sure.
Every time that we talk about changing something with the podcast, Teresa's always the voice of the listener of well, do you think we should do this? Are people going to enjoy this? Even stuff in the park when we were messing with the camera, you were always it's moving too much. I don't want to feel like you're making people dizzy. You still do that. And it's it's not that big of a deal, Teresa. People don't care. But you're always thinking of the listener.
Sure.
And where I'm just I know when I listen, because you're not a listener of a podcast. Yeah. As a listener of a podcast, I just don't care about that stuff. But I also, as Teresa reminds me all the time, I also think differently than most people. And so certain things that would bother most people don't bother me, and stuff bothers me that wouldn't bother most people. It's just kind of how my personality works. But that's kind of been the thing. And then just kind of, big into the community. Obviously, I think
guests.
Booking guests and getting interviews and stuff was all Teresa. But then also, I think there came a time where I'm and we've talked about this a lot, I am a Disney parks fan.
Yeah.
That's kind of my, I like some of the Disney movies, but parks are my focus of what I like in the Disney universe, where you're more of all around Disney person. You like the movies, you like the parks a lot. But you know what I mean? You're more well-rounded Disney fan or whatever. And I think that there became a point, that's not a bad thing. I think there came a point where I started to realize that I was oh, Teresa, between the two of us, is the bigger fan
different.
of
I'm
it.
just a different fan.
Okay, well, whatever.
There's no fan shaming going on here.
Yeah. Where to me, for myself, I was just thinking I was starting to like I said, I think we had gone a lot, or once you do things, I was thinking last year when we got to go to Club 33, I was reflecting on this, where it's I never thought we'd ever be able to go to Club 33. Mm-hmm. And because of this podcast, we were able to do that. We have met Becky Klein. I played trivia on a Disney Cruise Line with Kevin Kearns from the archives. We've met all these cool, Michael Vargo came on. We've met and talked to all these really cool people. Terry Hardin. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So we've done a lot of really cool things through the podcast. And as our listeners, I think you've got to experience kind of secondhand from us, those interviews and whatever. And so that's, again, why I didn't want Teresa to stop, because I'm we have this great thing. Just because I don't want to do it anymore at this part of my life doesn't mean that like I don't want to take that away from our listeners or from you or whatever. So yeah.
So I think what Tage was also kind of trying to say was, something that we want to be very transparent about. And if you guys have questions, feel free to email or message us. But, when it comes down to it, like this decision was not made because there was some sort of falling out between the two of us. It's just, Tage's just at a different point in his life than where I am, and my heart is with the podcast, and his heart is with wanting, just more flexibility and freedom to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And same thing, like when I was kind of joking you earlier with like, we're not fan shaming because, right, there are so many different types of Disney fans out there. There are people that will hop on a plane because they could spend an afternoon and a morning in the parks because they have like 2 days off. There are people that only go maybe once every 5 years. There's so many different types of Disney fans. And I think because we all exist, that's why amazing things like the DL Weekly community exists, is because it's kind of a place that we can all come together and just like be happy and excited for all Disney fans, again, no matter what your level is, because it doesn't matter if you go to the parks 5 times a year or if you go to the parks once every 5 years. It's still super duper exciting and magical, and there's just something tangible specifically about Disneyland that will always live on in all of our hearts. So I hope for some patience and grace, because this will be a transition period for myself as well as the new co-host, which, yes, we do have someone that has very kindly and graciously accepted that will be filling in, so you do not have to just listen to me every week and then struggle through Trivia Land I can't even imagine that. I just realized that. Could you imagine solo Trivia Land?
I don't think Trivia Land is that great when it's solo. I think having a couple people answering is good.
Constantly, like always. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That'd be something that would have to be tweaked, obviously.
Yes, it would. So anyway, I appreciate everyone's kindness and grace while this new transition happens. Some things behind the scenes, too, that this has kind of made me, right? Like, we've been doing the same thing for almost 9 years. Oh, I'll be perfectly honest. I will not say that either of us knew what we were doing when we started this, nor we've just kind of like made this up along the way. And we've been super, super duper lucky that people have enjoyed what we're doing and have stuck with us and are like just cheerleaders from the sides for us and what we're doing. But so with that, I think there are things, since we didn't know what we were doing, that maybe we overcomplicated for ourselves, or maybe we just kind of didn't need to do what it was that we were doing. So I have been kind of reflecting and trying to make some tweaks to ensure that this podcast can continue and that the community will still continue to make it more, I don't want to say manageable, but just more, I guess, streamlined might be a good way of saying it. So some things might be, you may notice that we're going to be a little bit more conscientious about time and how long podcasts are, because again, it takes a long time to put it together. And it also takes a long time for you guys to listen to it. So there might be some things, don't worry, it's not like Trivia Land's getting the axe, or there's never going to be a discussion topic ever again. The core of the show is always going to probably stay the same, at least for the time being, for sure. But just kind of some tweaks on the back ends to try and make just be more conscientious of time, because, Tage was listing his stuff. I also have a non-magical job from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. As you all are well aware, I just started doing concierge vacation planning too. Plus, just regular life stuff, spending time with our friends and family and, all that kind of stuff. So there's only so many hours in the day, but Disney is a big love and big focus of mine. So I hate to say it, but you're stuck with me.
Well, and some of the stuff, like you talked about, has already changed. So one of the first things that Teresa changed. So when I started talking to her about this in February, I think I can share this. You can tell me to cut it from Sidell if you don't want me to share this. But like, one of the first things that Teresa said was like, well, what are the things that are like pain points for you? Yeah. Maybe we could just change those things. Yeah. So
basically, how can we fix it?
Yeah. So she made the decision like, okay, we do like 10 news stories every week. We don't need to do 10 news stories every week. So if you've noticed, we've kind of limited that since, I don't know, March maybe, to like 5 or 6 news stories, which I think actually can work out really well, because that is the stuff that's like really meaningful and not just like we're just putting it in there to like fill a space.
Yeah.
Because for a while we did try to hit like a 10 news story kind of thing. Things like Teresa's brought up to me, SnackChat. Like, we don't have to force a SnackChat every week. We could just talk about SnackChat stuff when there is something to talk about it. Like, the segment won't go away, but it doesn't have to be part of every single episode. So just things like that's already taken place. So I don't think beyond anything that's already been changed, I don't think that there's going to be any major changes to the show in the near term. Some of the stuff that Teresa was talking about, though, about overcomplicating is in the beginning, let's talk about our support structure real quick. So when you go and join Patreon, we, I think, wanted to like give a carrot to people to support, because we didn't think the show was enough.
Yeah, and I think that was it. Like, we wanted to make sure like that we were earning your support.
Yeah. So we would do things. There's some things we don't even do anymore. Like, we used to send a certificate out, and like we used to do more. Well, one thing that's kind of weird that we've gone on and off is like we had like a bonus episode, and like that's kind of been on or off during certain months. We have things where, well, this will be interesting. Like, I'm not sure how Christmas is going to go, because we always send a card out to everybody at Christmas. I don't know if you're going to keep that tradition up or not. But anyway, so we just have all these different things. And we've realized when we've asked people in the community, like, hey, if we were to change these perks, if we were to not have this, almost unanimously people say, I support you because I want you to keep doing the show. Like, that is the primary reason that people financially support us. It's not because they're going to get a card or they're going to get a button or a sticker or a pin. And so I think that might be something that gets streamlined in the future. I don't know. I kind of, since I told Teresa in February, I've kind of tried to be out of the decision-making process, because it's not going to impact me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be making a decision for you, Teresa, and, future people. So,
yeah. And so, so if, I don't know, I feel like we kind of got weird and off track. But anyways.
Well, that sounds exactly like us.
This is probably the most awkward episode that we've ever had to record, because it's usually, right, we're talking about like fun and cool things, and this is not necessarily a fun and cool thing to be talking about, because I'm sure, a lot of you have been with us since the beginning, or you've done the thing that I've gotten better about. This doesn't like give me like as much like, ooh, why feelings anymore. But a lot of you, if you haven't been with us from the beginning, maybe you've gone back and listened from the beginning and you caught up.
That does give her feelings.
No. I've gotten better about that.
You don't care about people listening to the first few episodes?
I've come to terms with
it. Because that was a big deal for you.
Because I was like embarrassed, right? Because we were like, me especially, so nervous. I remember recording the first ever episode of DL Weekly. We sat in my dining room, and I remember not being able to talk because I was so because of nerves, not because I was tripping over my words or anything. I remember just having a stage fright feeling, which is ridiculous.
You know what I thought it was?
It was literally just the two of us.
You know what I thought it was?
What?
I thought that I was just talking too much. And you couldn't get a word in edgewise. Well, that's one of the things that over the years, Teresa and I have gone back and forth with, just there'll be episodes where one of us will dominate.
Away.
Yeah, we'll dominate the conversation. And we've been very good at talking to each other about that, but it's just, it's kind of funny.
It happens, because there's sometimes that maybe you're more interested in whatever the topic is, or you're just vibing better with the guest, or whatever. It's nothing that's ever been.
Well, there's been guests where you invited them on, and they wrote a book or something, or they did something that you were familiar with, and I wasn't.
Yeah.
So I show up and I'm like, I don't know what I can add to this conversation. But there's also been times where I've brought people on and you didn't. So we've both been in that position before.
That's just how things go.
Yeah.
But what we kind of wanted to do, so as Tage mentioned, this is not the final episode. Oh, no. I told him he needs to do what we're lovingly calling a farewell tour. So the first stop
she
on
loves
that,
the idea of this farewell tour.
I do, because we don't, right? We've been with you guys for almost 9 years. So I feel like it's not, I don't want to say fair, but I guess kind of you guys need time to say goodbye as well. So we're doing this farewell tour. The first stop was to let our supporters in the Patreon know, because a lot of the people in that chat are very near and dear to us. They have been on multiple streams. They're kind of like the internet friends, the people we've gotten to connect with probably the most throughout this whole thing. So
we've met a lot of them in person in the parks.
A ton of them in person. I mean, a lot of these people, I mean, Cripes, that's how you met Eric, is because Eric was a supporter. Now you and Eric have your own podcast. I mean, there's all sorts of fun little connections and like different things that we've seen kind of bloom and blossom out of our supporter chat, which is just incredible. So those are kind of like the inner circle for supporters and listeners. So they were the first to know, and we felt that was really important. Outside of that, like Tage mentioned, the next was the supporters on Patreon, because there's a lot of people that have been supporting us for years. Maybe they either aren't comfortable with the Discord chat or just don't have time for the Discord chat, which is totally fine.
Or they just want to financially support us.
Yeah, which is like totally fine. No, there's no judgment, but we felt it was important for those folks to also kind of be in the know. But then, of course, there's you, our entire listener base. And, you guys are the reason we're here. Otherwise, we would just be two Disney nerds talking into microphones, putting it out into the universe, and it just kind of it exists. Mm-hmm. So, what makes DL Weekly special is all of the people that listen to DL Weekly and support in the various ways, whether it's Patreon or on the episodes. But Tage and I will be together on, obviously, this episode. Next episode, we're going to have a trivia spectacular with James.
James has like a brand new game he wants to play with us. He hasn't told me what it is.
Oh, boy.
So it's going to be a whole thing. So look forward to that.
The next episode. Oh, we didn't even get to talk about this. So I kind of had a wild hair not even 2 weeks ago. That was 10 days ago that wild hair happened. July 3rd. I reached out to Tage and said, hey, because of course we had just talked to the wonderful Dawn about the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet earlier. And I said, hey, how do you feel about maybe going out to the Mouse Meet? Because I was looking at flights and I found some good flight times that maybe could make things work. And it was just kind of this like, ooh, what if? So I didn't hear anything from Tage for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, all he said back was, James gave his blessing, which means yes. So on July 4th.
Let me explain quick. So part of this.
Okay.
So one thing that I feel like might be confusing for people, because Teresa talked about it, was that like I was doing my schoolwork. That was not like a cover or anything. I legitimately am doing my schoolwork, which, fingers crossed, I should be done in the next week or two, which will be amazing. I say week or two because I have a busy rest of this week, so I don't know how much time I'm going to have to work on the school stuff. But anyway, next week or two, I should be done and have my bachelor's degree in cloud computing, and I'm very happy about that. But the only reason I got it done as quickly as I did was because I've been able to take time off and all that crap. Well, one of the things was that this summer I needed to work on my school, so James was being very strict with me, which is good because sometimes I need an accountability partner. And his thing was, you can't go, we're not going to go on any trips or anything until you get your school done. So I wanted to go to the Mouse Meet because Becky Klein's going to be there, and I'm very excited for that. And also it'd be cool to see Kay and Sumner from Marceline and the Hometown Museum, because we've talked to them before. And so I did want to go, but I didn't think I could go. And Teresa and I have had this conversation a bunch of times that we would not do a Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet the same year we do a D23.
Just because.
So I thought, well, Teresa's not going to go, and I don't really want to go by myself, so we just will go.
Yeah.
Until Teresa was like, I kind of want to do it. I'm like, oh God, you want to do this and D23? Okay, there's a possibility.
Yeah. Which maybe that was a good choice, maybe not. I don't know, because I have a non-magical job that only allows so much time off, but it's fine. It's fine. It was approved.
Well, I was going to say you had it approved.
We got it approved, so that's all that matters, right? So we will be heading out for the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet. It's kind of like our unofficial last DL Weekly trip, because it will be the last official podcast trip for Teresa and Tage. So I'm really excited about that, because otherwise, our last trip, we didn't know was going to be our last trip. So I think
it was last October.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? We went into that trip not knowing that was going to be the final podcast trip. So I think it's fun going into this kind of knowing, just knowing that it feels good.
Teresa thinks that, I don't know if she thinks this, but I'm going to pretend that she thinks this, that we won't go to Disneyland again. Oh, no. Like, I will definitely go to Disneyland with Teresa again in the future. I just don't know when that'll be quite yet.
Yeah.
And we'll have to communicate that.
But again, it'll just be different, because it won't be me like constantly pestering you.
You'll have to work, and I won't have to.
Which is totally fine.
That's kind of mean, but I'll come to the meetup.
Anyways.
I told people they're not getting rid of me just because I'm not doing the podcast. Anyway.
So we will be heading out for the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet as the official, unofficial last podcast trip together. We've gotten way off topic because this was supposed to be like, yes, the announcement of you leaving, making sure everybody knows that, you and I are friends and still friends, and we'll still be friends outside of this podcast. We're just not going to do the podcast together anymore.
Yeah.
But we were also supposed to talk
stuff
about all the fun that we've had over the last 9 years. So maybe that'll have to wait for one of the other ones. I think you need to finish
what you were saying because you're doing like we normally do.
So
we'll have an episode about the Mouse Meet, and then we'll have Teresa had this great idea that our very first episode was telling you our Disney stories. Yeah. So Teresa had this great idea that for my last episode that we would talk about like our updated Disney story of like kind of where we are now with all of that. So I think that'll be really cool.
And then Tage realized that it just so happened because he was thinking the post-Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet would be his final, but I wanted to do this, kind of bookend episode with the farewell Disney story. And then as we were kind of like mapping this out, we realized that your final episode will be episode number 450.
Which is crazy.
Which is very crazy.
It would have been crazier if it was like 500 or something.
It would have been.
You're like, well, you could stay around 50 more.
It's funny because we were mapping this out, and when we realized it was 450, I'm like, see, you couldn't have that last one be your last one because you would have been annoyed that it was 449.
Yeah, probably. But we're going to go to the Mouse Meet, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And then Teresa was trying to get her back around to say that this is supposed to be like a retrospective kind of like look back kind of thing.
So we'll just have to put that in for the Disney story. We'll just have to fluff out our Disney stories with all the fun, cool experiences that we've gotten to do because of this funny little idea you had for a Disney podcast that I thought surely nobody's going to listen to. And look, here we are almost 9 years later.
You know what's crazy? If you look at the episode graphic for this week, that is baby Tage and baby Teresa.
From 2018?
From 2018. In fact, I want to pull the date on that real quick. It's us around Halloween time because two of our supporters sent us things in the mail. One of them was the Tiki Haunted Mansion Tiki mugs.
Yeah, the Hatbox Ghost Tiki mug.
And then the other was ears.
Yeah.
So
we're going to call them Haunted Mansion themed because mine were Nightmare Before Christmas. They were the Sally ears, and yours was the Hatbox Ghost.
October 30th, 2018.
Look at that.
It was late too. This timestamp was 10 o'clock. That was late.
We were harder workers back then when we were young. Because now I'm like, oh my gosh, 10 o'clock, I'm going to turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, again, more kind of to come in the coming weeks of like, the future of the podcast. But the big thing that we want everyone to know is that, DL Weekly is not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. Tage from behind the scenes has been super duper patient and very helpful and really wants to make sure that I and the podcast succeed. So he's been very, very kind in helping me kind of learn all the tech side of stuff, which is definitely how his brain works and not how mine brain works. So I appreciate all the patience everybody's had the last couple of months.
The show's made it out. That's the important thing.
It has. There's only one time that I uploaded the wrong audio, but we got it fixed in time. So nobody was none the wiser. But anyways, so some of you have been noticing that we've had a couple of new voices on while Tage was first on his fabulous Disney cruise going across the Atlantic Ocean. And then more recently, while he's been taking time away so that he can focus on his schoolwork and get his bachelor's degree finished this summer. But I'm very happy to announce that one of those voices will be continuing on with the show. Ryan Phelps has very graciously and kindly agreed to be my co-host going forward. Ryan is, we had his Disney story, but Ryan is a Patreon. He's been a supporter and a listener. I want to say he told me since 2018. So he's been with us since the beginning. The community is very, very near and dear to his heart. He's always been very active in the Discord, in doing all the extra little videos and like hangouts and meetups and stuff that Tage was talking about. So he very, very, very much wants for this to succeed as well. And so he's like thrilled to be a part of things, and he's been already like a big support, helping me, wanting to learn a bunch of behind the scenes stuff to kind of help take some stuff off my plate. So yeah, we're really, really excited.
Who would have thought, I'll bet you he wouldn't have, when we first met him in person at the D23 picking up our badges, and we're like, you want to go to the character outlet with us?
Yes.
And he's like, sure. And then he got randomly in the car with us and went over and then realized, I don't really know these people.
We were like halfway to the character outlet.
Yeah.
And we're all joking. We're like, this was maybe not the smart, like, we're kind of strangers. And we were like laughing about it because, we were not strangers. We knew each other from the internet, but it was kind of a like, literally we just met the first time in person and now we're all in a car together. We're like, we could have just abducted you.
The other cool thing that happened to work out that I thought was kind of magical was when D23 tickets went on sale, you worked with him because you both got tickets together before we knew any of this was happening.
So I had asked Tage, and I already kind of knew the answer, if he wanted to go to D23 this year or not. And he said, nope, he did not want to. But he said, you've got my blessing. Go, go ahead. So I decided, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a solo trip, which I've never done a solo trip. So I was like a little nervous about that and kind of whatever. And somehow we were talking in the Discord, and Ryan and I both realized that he and I were both wanting to go to D23, but we were both going to be traveling solo. So we're like, hey, do you want to go to the Honda Center? Okay, cool. I want to go to the Honda Center. Should we just be D23 buddies? And so we did. We purchased our D23 tickets together so that we would not be sitting in a sea of strangers. We would at least have one other person that we knew. So Ryan and I just happened to first be D23 buddies, and now he's going to be the new co-host with me.
Podcast
so it's
buddies.
kind of like this, D23 buddies turned podcast buddies. So I think it's also kind of a weird, beautiful, like, coincidence that our first podcast trip was D23 in 2019.
Yeah.
And now Ryan and I's first, it wasn't intentionally, but now it's going to be our first podcast trip will be D23 2026.
Well, plus, I'm just thinking, like, when we've gone to D23. So I feel like the podcast would have been odd if, let's say Ryan didn't go.
It's just me being a nerd about it.
Yeah, then you're just talking about it. The other person's like, I wasn't there. So the fact that, like, it just happenstance that you guys will be able to have, like, episodes like you and I used to have episodes for D23, that the two of you will be able to, that'll be cool.
Yeah.
So I think, the universe works in mysterious ways, and it is what it is. And it all kind of worked out. So I'm really glad about that. I was nervous because Teresa has a hard time sometimes overthinking things. And I was like, she's going to overthink every person that she tries to have come do this with her. And you didn't. You did a pretty good job. So I was very proud of you.
I was trying to be very intentional.
But you picked somebody, though.
Yes, I did pick somebody.
Yeah, because I was worried that, like,
I was never going to
you were going to find an excuse to not pick anybody else.
Oh, I mean, it's hard, right? Because you and I, like... And with recording with other people, I realize just how much just kind of is almost like a natural reflex at this point when it comes to recording the podcast, that when I have to try and explain it to someone else, I have to think about what it is that I'm doing and what it is that we were doing. And it's like, so it's just weird. It's kind of, you just get so used to something to then have to take a couple steps back and, like, really look at it and think of it and, I'm sure that there's people listening that have, like, coworkers that are like this too, where, like, you work so well together, you're almost like in Frozen where they finish each other's sentences, sandwiches or whatever. And, like, because we've talked about this, how you've realized when you've recorded with other people that, like, we just know how to read each other now, that, like, we don't have to think about a lot of stuff because it's just, like you said, it's kind of reflexive. Like, I just know when you want to say something, and I know, like, when I can jump in or whatever. Yeah. And, like, because we've done the podcast together for so long, like, we just know how we are with each other. And I think that's also been one of the hardest things, is so many people have written to us since almost the beginning that we have such a good chemistry. And, like, that's one of the reasons they listen to the show. So I think that was a fear too, that, like, for me, it was like, okay, yes, I want Teresa to keep doing this, but is she going to have some good chemistry with somebody, or is that going to, like, inadvertently kill the podcast? No.
So
I'm trying to think positively over here.
No,
sir.
I'm just telling you stuff that I thought about.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I think it's going to be just fine because I think it's going to work out.
I think
our
so,
community has been, all the people in the Discord we've already told have been super supportive, and our community is just the best, just in general. Like, they're all, like Teresa said earlier, they're all, like, friends of ours that we've made for forever. So
I just need to point something out.
Uh-oh.
I'm very proud of myself. I warned Tage because Tage is not one that likes emotions and feelings because that's just Tage. And I warned him that I got really emotional today when we posted on Patreon. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to be a puddle this evening. I'm very proud of myself. My eyes have only gotten watery a couple of times. I have not lost my voice, nor have I made you like super, you know how like you're trying to talk, but you can't, like that hasn't happened.
In classic Tage fashion, I haven't noticed any of this.
No. No, he hasn't. And also in classic Tage fashion, as soon as I started talking about being emotional, he gets his phone out to distract himself so he doesn't have to listen to it. But this is the Tage I know and love. This is Tage and I have been friends since Cripes. When did we first meet? 2007?
8 or 9.
8 or 9?
Yeah,
2007. Because
I moved here in 2007.
Okay, 2007 is when I moved here too. So yeah, like 2008. Or maybe it was...
It was 2009 because it wasn't too long after we met that you got me to work for Walmart, and I started in 2009.
Oh, I didn't. You decided to join the dark side.
Well, you were telling me how much better it was than where I was working, which was true.
Comparing different things because you were at a different retailer.
So this shows you how good of friends Teresa and I are. So I don't even remember what it was now. Which there you go. See, that just proves it. But Teresa had a death in her family. And I knew she was struggling with it a little bit. And so I had a conversation with her. I said, I just want you to let you know I'm checking in on you, but you know I'm really bad at this. So I can't help you, but I just want to make sure you're okay. Yeah. And she's like, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, good. Because I don't know how to help you. Because that's just how I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad that Teresa, because I was worried that Teresa was going to be like need a good friend to be there. And I am not good at that. Because anytime somebody cries around me, I'm always just like, stop. What can I do to make you stop? Like, I don't know what to do. And then I start making jokes, and sometimes that's not appropriate. Anyway.
Tay gets very uncomfortable, but that's okay.
Yeah. So, So if you have anything to say or whatever, you can email us, respond on social media. I'm sure Teresa will pass anything along to me if she sees anything.
But also, you're stuck with Tage for 4 more weeks. So
3 more weeks.
3 more weeks.
This one and 3.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you have 4 total episodes, so 3 more counting this. Yeah. I can math. I definitely can.
You know what's really sad? The way that this worked out, I won't even intro the last episode. You're introing the last episode. So I'll have to remember when we do the mouse meet. That's going to be my last intro.
Look at that.
Until you need another co-host because somebody's out, like Ryan's out or you're out, and I come back and co-host. We'll see if that ever happens. I keep saying this, and I feel like in Teresa's mind, she's like, you're the one who doesn't want to do this anymore. I'm not going to call you to be on the podcast. Because it's what you want. It's not the... Anyway. See, this is the friendship we have.
And with that...
Thank you, everybody.
Well, we are just 1 week away, which is crazy to say and wrap my head around that it's already next weekend, from the big Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet event. The guest speakers have been lined up and announced. There's a new venue, new hotel, lots of fun things. And if you were listening during our discussion topic, you also know that Tage and I will be making it out for a very special fun appearance. We're super excited to go out and experience this crazy fun event again. If you are going to be in the area and are interested in joining in the fun on Saturday, July 25th for the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet, be sure to visit their website at pnwmousemeet.com and use code CONCIERS for 20% off your tickets. There's also a very fun event hosted by D23 happening on Sunday, the 26th, which is a special screening of Beauty and the Beast. So lots of fun throughout the entire weekend. This is happening in Everett, Washington, so just north of Seattle, and we hope to see many of you there.
Woo! Welcome back to Trivia Land, Shell. My name Raymond, and I hope them answers are bigger and better than this here back porch I got attached to me. Don't you know Evangeline and I wish y'all the best of luck.
Welcome back to Trivia Land, where we are going to find out the answers to the questions and see how Tage and Teresa did. Tage, Teresa, how are we feeling?
You know, no, I forgot. There's one we didn't even answer. So I think that was the right gut reaction.
what? However you can translate.
I was feeling confident until I looked at my notes as to what our answers were and realized that we didn't even answer one of the four.
So your memory of trivia was more rose-colored glasses than the actual.
Yes. My memory's more took a positive spin on things.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
All right. Well, let's see how it went for you. Your first question from listener Jocelyn. What feature was at the entrance of Bear Country when you used to first walk into it? It was then integrated into Splash Mountain during the years of Critter Country and has since gone away since the opening of Tiana's and Bayou Country. You said the Snoring Bear Rufus. The correct answer that I was looking for was the cave where you could hear the Snoring Bear Rufus.
It was even Rufus.
Wow. Good job, us. But mostly you.
Well done on that one. Your second listener-submitted question from listener Aaron P. While you're in the queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, how many cut and unfried beignets are there sitting on the table beside the roller pin in the kitchen scene? Well, Teresa said 5, and Tage said 6. The correct answer that I was looking for was add your answers together and you've got 11.
Oh. I like that it was us together.
We should get partial credit.
You each looked at half of the table.
That was a teamwork is what that was.
Teamwork does make the dream work.
Yeah.
The dream of us getting a point for that question.
Yeah.
Your third listener submitted question from listener Ryan G.H. What member of SEA is featured on the Disney Cruise Line ships? And this one specifically says in the additional information from the listener submitter, I know this isn't Disneyland, but figured it might be fun in there when Tage gets back from the sea.
There you go.
So this was specifically for Tage's been on a cruise recently. He might know this.
Well, you were wrong.
Your answers were stumped and I need a lifeboat.
I know Pepe the Prawn is featured on 2 of the ships.
I love Pepe.
He's a secret sea member.
Answer I was looking for was Mary Oceaneer.
Mary Ocean. Oh, so I wonder, she must have something to do with the Oceaneers Club, which is one of the kids' clubs. Huh. Look at that. Learned a new thing.
I mean, that's kind of the point of all of this stuff, right?
It's true.
And finally, able to use this question from listener host guy Ryan P.
That one guy, Ryan.
Yeah, that guy that's been around a lot, Ryan P. Disneyland has closed unexpectedly only 3 times, not including the pandemic. What were those closures? You answered the assassination of John F. Kennedy, the terrorist attacks of 9/11, and the Northridge earthquake. The correct answer that I was looking for, full closures where they were not even open at all for the entire day, the assassination of John F. Kennedy, a recognition of that the day after the event, on 9/11 out of caution for the terrorist attacks. The attacks happened early enough in the morning, they just chose not to open the entire day.
Teresa.
And then partial closures included January 1994 for inspections after the Northridge earthquake. They were able to open later in the day, but they did open very late because of the inspections.
Go me, wow.
And August 6, 1970, Vietnam protesters came into the park and they set up a protest on Tom Sawyer's Island.
Right.
And they had to shut down the park to get the protesters
Oh, I didn't
out.
know they had to shut down the park for it. Okay. Look at us,
That
though. We
was
did
not
okay.
bad. Actually, we did pretty good, except for the one that we didn't answer at all, because I'm still, in my heart, giving us partial credit for our added together answer for the beignets.
Unfortunately, your heart does not go on the record.
I know. But still.
And you may notice I gave 4 times that they closed after the question only asked for 3 times that they closed. That is the beauty of vetting the questions in Trivia Land. Sometimes I learn more than I was taught.
Well, there you go.
Well, listeners, how do you think Tage and Teresa did? How did you do listening at home or at work or on a walk or in your car on your way to work or a walk or school or wherever it is you listen? If you have some perfect question that's going to really stump them in the future, please feel free to send that in to us at dlweekly.net/trivia.
We will be back next week with more Disneyland news and information.
Until then, go out and enjoy the parks.
A special thank you to Sidell for editing the podcast, Andy Mack for all the wonderful character transitions, and to James D. and Aaron C. for supporting at the Club 33 level.
All weekly tiers, prepare to be stepping out to your right.
There she goes.